Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
It is Marital Monday. It's been 2 weeks.
Have it been?
It's been 2 weeks.
Uh,
Yeah. You okay?
I'm all right.
You all right though? I mean, it's been 2 weeks though. You haven't joined me. I've been sitting here waiting.
Really? Okay, 'cause I've been in the same place you've been in.
Right.
On autopilot mode.
Right. Good morning, everybody. It is Marital Monday. Thank you for joining us. Listen, we want your feedback today because we got a good one. Right?
Yes.
I say that every time, but it's good. It's good though.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's good stuff.
All right.
It's good stuff. So, good morning, everybody. We hope you join on, share with somebody, pull somebody in, because we want to hear from you this morning. I'm sure every spouse has thought, "Oh my God, you talk too much."
Mm-hmm.
Especially with Mr. Salesman in the house. Oh my God, you talk too much.
I'm a people person.
Yeah, okay, that's what he says, a people person. All right, so the scripture for today comes from Luke 12:34, and I like it because beforehand it talks about laying up your treasures in heaven, focusing on what really matters. And Luke 12:34 says, "For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also."
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's very relevant to today. We'll get into that. But where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. That's good.
You're my treasure.
Oh, thanks, boo. Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So, something really, really cool happened last Friday. My husband came home and was whispering. And even when I tried to call him on his way home, he said that we had to hang up because he was losing his voice. And it was obvious to me that he was losing his voice. So I tried to call him like an hour later to check on him. And he texted me back and said, "I can't talk. We can try, but you'll be the only one talking because I've completely lost my voice." So when he came home, he was whispering. And while I felt bad, a part of me was like, "Oh my goodness, this is great. This is great." I was a little too happy that my husband couldn't talk. So we came up with... He cleared his throat. We came up with, "Oh my God, you talk too much." Because I think every marriage at some point, you're thinking in your head, "Oh my goodness, would you please shut up?"
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, go ahead, boo.
And most of us are not bold enough to say that.
Yep.
And I'm not saying you should exactly say that. But you should be able to communicate that in some type of way. And a lot of us do.
Yeah.
A lot of us have the looks. A lot of us have the body language. And a lot of us have the attitude that come along with it.
Yeah. Hey, Leisha. So how do we confront that? Because we put a couple things down, like bullet points. You talk to everyone else but me. I know as a woman, we always hear men saying, "All you women do is get together and talk." And a lot of us do. And I know my best friends are women. So you talk to everybody else but me, though. What's the problem with that?
Well, it's great to have other friends that you talk with and that you socialize with outside of your significant other and outside of your spouse. I promise you, contrary to popular belief, you can and should have other people that you talk to than the person next to you. You really should. That's a topic for another day. But the problem becomes where one person feel like, "Man, it's so much we can talk about, so much we should talk about," and every time I look up, you're on the phone with him, or you're on the phone with her, or you're gone with them, or you're gone with that particular person, and the person that you're with feels neglected because it's hard to communicate, "I feel neglected." It's hard to communicate, "I feel lonely." It's hard to communicate, "I need some time."
Yeah.
We've got a little bit better at when we know that we need some talking time or some alone time. We got a little bit better with being able to come closer to being able to say that to each other in some words or another. But not everyone conquers that particular area right away.
And being fully transparent, when we met, I had been single for close to 4 years. So I was in my single mom mode. And there were a lot of times where James would say something I didn't like, or I felt like he was holding me back from something. And I would call my girlfriend, but like, "Don't worry about it, I got a handle. Don't worry about it, I got a handle." and then there came a point where you were like, wait a minute, do you need me here or not?
Right.
So sometimes we can do that, and I know I have been guilty of it, and sometimes I have to catch myself. But being by myself for so long, I had a friend, a posse, where if I needed something, I could call them, but it was doing it, and sometimes to be spiteful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, so you don't have that, or you don't want to do that? Okay, never mind. And I would call my girlfriend, and you'd be like, okay, so that's not cool.
Yeah, because inside the makeup, the DNA of that real man, there's some men that are okay with that because maybe they're okay with someone else taking care of them. They're okay with someone coming through. They're okay with someone being the Superman, the superhero. But I'm your Superman. I'm my wife's Superman. You know, and I want to be able to make sure I have the opportunity for us to be able to figure it out, work it out, and I don't want you or anybody else to take that away from me. That's inside that real man stuff, and the real man is out here. We have a problem if, let's say, you go into your friends, your mom and dad for help on what should be going on in our household.
Wait a minute, Janelle said, in my practice, I have noticed that the hubbies are talking more to coworkers and friends more than their wives. It's not just wives, Mercedes.
It's not. It's not just wives.
I can only speak for women, Janelle. My husband can speak for the men.
No, we can. It's open. It's not. This is see. There's a lot of problems that people have. That's not a woman's problem or a man's problem.
Right.
It's a people's problem. We are all human beings. We were all fearfully and wonderfully made by God. We're all His children, so we're made the same way with just different attributes, different styles, different patterns, but pretty much the same behaviors. Where I hear a lot of times, oh, men just cheat, women cheat too. Oh, well, just
listen,
women just cheat.
No, address it, boo. Address it though. How men do it too?
Yes, that's what. Okay, so it's not gender specific. Men and women do it too. So
because I've heard a lot of the men saying, "This is my work wife," or that, you know what I mean? They confide in people at work.
And if we open our ears, and we look in multiple areas, we will hear that it happens in both ways. It's a gender thing. So let's just go ahead and say, okay, all people struggle with it. So what can we do about it? Well, continue to have those friends, but what you got to do is make sure you're not intentionally riding down a dead-end street. And what I mean by that is, don't intentionally put more time and more talk time, more text time. Let's just think about it. Look in your phone. Like even right now, I take care of a lot of different business with what I do for my job. But in my phone, my text time and my talk time, but I have more minutes and hours with you than any one other person.
That's true.
It should. So check your phones. You can check your text and your talk time. Do that. Just look at it and see who your text or your talk time. See how many text messages you sent to your boo, your significant other, and then see how many you sent to the next closest person. See if it's even close.
Right.
I guarantee I got I would go on record, at least 20 times more text messages to you than any one other person in my phone.
And I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it. So let's go to the next one. Picking your battles. Okay, is it the same as with kids as it is in your marriage? Like, with kids, you'd be like, that's just where they are. Pick your battles. Leave it alone. Not everything needs to be argued about, because we can... I say the first 5 years of a marriage are really, really, really tough. And we heard that, like the first year is the honeymoon, and then after that, life get real.
Yes.
Do you pick your battles with me?
All right, so
to save talk time.
Since you picked the kids thing first, like right now in this new phase I'm at this particular year, this calendar year, there's a lot of stuff that I adjusted my personality and my thought process as it relates to our kids here in the house, and it came from exactly that, picking my battles, picking my fights, and so forth. Because maybe you could take a different approach, and the approach that you take now, it might not be the same exact approach that you was brought up with, and so forth as well.
Right.
You gotta try new things. You gotta try different things as it relates to raising and training up children today. And guess what? 20 years from now, that's going to change and evolve. But we're not exactly focused on that. The second part to your question was, as it relates to you, I absolutely do.
You absolutely do what?
Pick my battles and my fights. There's a lot of stuff.
Here.
There's a lot, but this is okay. So this is the thing. When I choose not to say nothing, or I choose to let that go, I honestly make a choice that, okay, you know what? I'm gonna get over that, and I'm not gonna let that become a problem. Some people.
But do you hold on to it?
No, that's what I'm gonna say. Some people get quiet. They get sort of frustrated, and they hold on to it, and the first time something else happens, that pops right up. Okay, yeah, that's walking on ice water. Yeah, some people do that. So there's things that...
You're talking about me. Go ahead and say it.
There's things that happen, and even in our relationship where I'm like, all right, it ain't that deep. Okay, well, that happened. Well, and then I say, we're only in our 5th year. Okay, that shouldn't be happening in our 10th year. Okay, well, cool. All right, we're gonna roll with it.
Yeah.
Let me go take a bike ride, or let me go shoot some ball. You know. So.
But then you do have to pick your battles. Like, one of the things that I know recently I've been doing is I would hold things in and then explode. Right?
Boom.
Right.
Like a water balloon.
Yeah, especially when it comes to the kids, and it's easy when you're the one at home with them the most, and you're doing a lot, and you're saying, "Hey, y'all need a little help," and you whisper it. "Hey, y'all need a little help," and you whisper, "Hey, y'all need a little help," and nobody is responding. It seems like nobody is responding, and then you explode. So I'm learning that certain battles, I am gonna pick that fight. Like, if I'm the only one cooking and cleaning and doing all of that, when there's a 16-year-old, a 13-year-old, even the 4-year-olds can pick up their toys after, you know what I mean? So I'm learning that instead of being quiet, that there's certain things that I have to speak up on right from the beginning.
Listen, I sit back and I love it going on that way, because I always call this one Charmin tissue. I always call this one soft, because, man, she will run here, she will do this. Every last thing that our crew, from the 16-year-old down to the 4-year-old, she boom, will run. But then it's a struggle to get a little bit of participation around the house. I'm like, you just giving up all your bargaining chips and so forth. No. Because the way I was raised, I did 3 or 4 things around the house, and then I came to ask for 2 or 3 things.
Yeah, but it was like your mom was in the army, though.
Okay. Listen.
She wasn't, but it was like she was.
I feel you. I agree. That's my mama sergeant. I agree with that particular part. So what do we got next?
Well, Janelle said, I used to rely on me to decide what battles to pick with my husband and failed, in all caps. I would pick the wrong ones. Now that I rely on the Holy Spirit to discern when to speak up. For me, I have to close my mouth in the moment and listen for God to say speak and how to speak and exactly what to say and when to say it. Janelle, you could not be any more true. There is so much truth to that in waiting. And that was something we were going to touch on a little later, is the scripture for me that I have to hold on to is do not sin in your anger, because for me, I explode. Instead of, don't be shaking your head over there, I explode. And then my husband be like, whoa. And everybody in the house is like, whoa.
You know we still married. You know, in like 6 hours, we're going to still be married. You know, we're going to still go someplace. We know we're going to still handle household business like married folks.
So I'm working on that. And this sweatshirt is a testimony to it. Last week, I told my kids, because it's like everybody's constantly asking me for something. Don't ask me for nothing for 3 days. And they itch, they're dying because they literally cannot ask me for nothing for 3 days. And they have so much going on. So my son went and bought a gift. He went on Amazon and bought the hoodie, like trying to say, okay, Mom, we appreciate you. They've been cleaning. They've been, what?
Well, before that revelation happened and they started doing that, so you told them not to ask you nothing. And then here it is, my phone blowing up for 2 days. Can I have this? Can we do this? Can we do this? I'm like, whoa. You know, we usually let Mom handle, all of that. So why am I getting these messages? Oh my goodness, my kids really love me.
But in the meantime, they're buying me stuff, but asking him. Like they switched it over to him.
And I'm thinking like, oh, check it out, my kids. I'm at work like, ooh, I get a little request from my kids. No, it's because you told them not to ask you. So they said, okay, I'll just go ask James.
And see, I don't know that until we reconnect. But sorry, boo. Sorry. Okay, so the next one is, what if someone is wrong? Like something happens, you're dead wrong. Yeah. We have the talk, but then midway through the talk or the argument, you're thinking in your head.
So yes, because men, we mess up a lot. Okay, women mess up sometimes.
I'm gonna sip to that.
Women mess up sometimes. Men, we mess up a lot. But there are some times where we're like, hold on. I know I did not mean for it to go that way, and that was not my intention. And somehow we're down that street. But in our head, we're thinking, you talk too much. Can we just kiss and make up now? Can we just get right? Can we get back to the, okay, I'm sorry, here, give me a kiss, jump on top of me, let's figure it out. throw me on the floor. What's that Mariah Carey song?
I don't know. We ain't
going there?
No.
Okay. I don't know. Listen, can we get to that particular part? Because sometimes we're arguing is just like real heated passion. Like you're passionate about something.
That's
you want
what
to be
you call
right.
it. Arguments are not heated passion.
You want to be right.
That's
you
not
love
true.
the other person and so forth as well. And I'm just thinking, okay, shut up. Let's just kiss and make up. But see, God put me with somebody that they do not look at it that particular way. This one here, if you come close, you're getting punched in your lip.
That's not true. I am not physical.
Listen, neither one of us have ever put our hands on each other. So I don't get beat up by this one, and she don't get touched by me.
Right.
But I'm just thinking that, man, can we just kiss and make up? But what I'm saying is, she don't do we need some time.
I don't do it well. I don't do it well.
We need some time, some space for the kiss and make up part. And I'm just thinking like, can we just get it on already?
Yeah,
it's
no.
okay.
Yeah, no.
But there's a lot of people out there that they love to fight because they love the kiss and make it up time. Are y'all out there? Where y'all at?
But I mean, one of the things that, and I have to back up, and that's where I said I'm learning as far as the anger part when it comes to that, is watch what you say. In those times, I'm learning watch what you say. And there's tons and tons and tons of scripture on watching your tongue. You can check out any of them. A longer one is James 3:3. Let's read that one. But Proverbs 21:23 says, watch your words and hold your tongue, and you'll save yourself a lot of grief. So at some point for us, the talking becomes too much, and we have to say, okay, let's retreat. Let's go through and figure out what really matters, what we're really trying to say here, where we went wrong, because somewhere down the line, he said something that triggered something in me, or I said something that triggered in him. And then it set that person off.
Yes.
So we're learning mature communication.
Yep. And we're not close to all the way there yet. Some days we have better days, and some days we just fail. As soon as we start, 60 seconds in, we're like, shoot, we messed that one up.
Yeah.
In our head, we're thinking we messed that one up. And yet, our foolishness, we keep on going with it in our head. And then there's certain days we'll be 7-8 minutes into it, and we'll realize, okay, I gotta get out of here. Ding, ding, ding. Referee, ring the bell.
And then it's too late for him because he's a salesman. So and I used to be in sales, so game recognized game. Yeah. So when my husband started talking, trying to sell me something, I'd be like, sir, we are not at the store. You be trying to sell stuff.
Yeah, because
you be trying to sell his point of view. But he does it in a salesman, and I'm like, sir.
Yeah. God is not through with me yet. But I'm not the same way I used to be.
What about if your spouse is in a career that you don't really care about and they want to talk about it? Like, yeah. Yeah,
well, this is the thing. If your spouse is in a career...
or a hobby.
Okay.
Or
see, hold on. Don't throw that... well,
something that's important to them that causes them to want to talk to you a lot about it.
Because listen, when you said career, I was immediately about to say, so it's not like just a little hobby or a little side thing. Career means financially supporting and financially investing in the family. And that's important. So I think you should talk about it. You should, and don't yell at me when I say this. You should fake it till you make it. But what I mean by that is not be a different person. What I mean by that is make some type of, even if it's a fake attempt of listening, wanting to know, because over a period of time, you might actually see that you have interest. You might actually see that it's helping the person that you're with by being that ear, being that mouthpiece, letting them run something by you. But if they have a career and they're financially investing in the family, you better show interest in it. But, okay, you said hobby suggestion. Listen, this is the person that you're going to be with. Show interest regardless. Don't be so selfish where it's about you, because I promise you're talking to someone, if not your significant other, your boo, your husband, your wife, about your situation, meaning you like for people to hear you, will hear somebody else as well.
Right.
So, that's kind of why I became to love watching chick flicks. What?
You watched chick flicks before we met.
I don't know that. I'm not admitting that. I'm just saying. So we're gonna let that be the credit to you. So step outside of you. Step outside of you. When the two become one flesh. So okay, let's both vibe together. You know how those old school people say, man, I was sitting here breathing and I felt my heartbeat. I got next to you and I realized that your heartbeat match my heartbeat. You know, all our old school people and stuff like, oh, Tyler Perry movie, another one, okay.
Right.
But I'm just saying, we should vibe. We should be able to connect a little bit. How can you connect if you don't communicate?
Right.
It can't all be about you.
And then if you enjoy seeing the other person happy,
yes,
then whatever they talk about would make you happy.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Mm.
Absolutely, and it should, and you should want that, so that way you can make sure that the direction that both of you all are going individually work your team game plan.
Right, right.
For example, we have a team goal. You're doing something completely different and opposite than what I'm doing, but we have to make sure it fits into the goal. I'll use an example. What if I decided to quit my job right now and say, you know what? I want to go to school because I want to be a police officer. Mm-hmm. Now that sounds fine, but where do that fit into what we're doing? Or you know what? I think at whatever age I am right now, I want to go to the military.
Right.
And you know, that sounds well and good, but what would that do? We would
have to change some things
around.
Yeah,
we would have to change some things around. Hey, you know what? I don't want to work no more. I want to go back to school full time. That sounds very, very good. Okay, so what do we need to do to adjust? Now, it'll be tough if I look up and I'm thinking you're at work or something like that, and you're like, "What? Why you got a book bag? What is all those books?" Oh, I didn't tell you I'm in school full time now. I don't work no more. Mm-hmm. That, you know, so you got to have open dialogue.
Do not send in your anger.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. So, bring it all home, boo. I think what you said is important. We're a team.
Yes.
It's team. So all of these issues are relevant. Everything is relevant. Yes. Like if your spouse feels a certain way because you're talking to your friends too much, or whatever it is, then it's worth talking about. And then maybe there's a cutoff time too for talks. I've known people that say, listen, we set the timer and said we got 10 minutes to hash this out and then we move on.
And that's good. And what it is people finding out different things that can work for them. And guess what? A lot of the things that we do right now, or that you might try doing, I promise you, somebody else have done or tried to do. Mm-hmm. Find what works for you. That would be great. Man, it's good to develop certain type of disciplines when you're fighting, because it's called fighting fair. In every type of fight, there's rules to it, and that's great when you can set some rules and adhere to them. Don't set a list of 15 rules if you haven't been used to following one rule. Start with 2 or 3 of them. Right. Like something like that is very, very basic and simple. If we have some type of argument and communication that need to be discussed, we got a 10-minute timer.
Right. And Janelle said we do it easily with our kids. She said, I hate piano recitals and 7-hour cheer competitions. We should do it for our spouse too.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah. And I remember we went out to dinner a while ago and we was talking to this older couple and we asked them what's the secret. And every couple we always ask that to, they always say forgive often.
I thought he said just nod and agree.
He may have, but
he texted that to me.
Right,
young fella, just nod and agree.
But forgive often, and in any type of relationship, especially your marriage, forgive often. Mm-hmm. Move on, and if you can think about all that Christ has done for us as far as forgiveness, it makes it a whole lot easier. Yeah. It makes it a whole lot easier to realize, who am I to hold grudges, especially if we're in this together. I'm not talking about legit stuff where some crazy stuff has gone down. The everyday stuff in marriage, the little stuff, the big stuff. I always say on my show, if it matters to you, it matters to God. That's funny, I almost said that. Hey, Taiwana.
Yep, and listen, and even for the Bible thumpers, you know, there's a lot of things that God asks us to do that Jesus put out in the Bible, such as, you know, fasting and then prayer. Like if you read in the Bible, there's a lot of different times where it's prayer. There's one thing that comes to mind in the Bible that God asks us to do more than any other single act.
Love.
And forgiving.
Love is a big one too.
Yeah, but when you go to the scripture that talks about forgiveness and how many times that we have to forgive a person, and it's a multiplication sort of equation in there daily, there's not one single thing that he tells us to do more than that daily. Just think about that. Let me know. But forgiveness is huge. Letting go and let God. There's a great song. I'm not a singer, you are. But though, you know, let go and let God. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we really, really have to do that. So we're sitting here talking about, you talk too much, shut up already. Now, that can be a very, very good thing, because we can come from a background where, man, I just love hearing my person, you know, the person I'm with talk. Let's think about when you first met your boo and your significant other, how much talk time y'all had on the first day, the first week, the first month.
And how y'all looked at each other like, I could just listen to every word.
I know. Yeah. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. Okay. We both gonna hang up. Go ahead, count 3. 1, 2. No, not yet. You know, all of that stuff. But you still on the phone? All of the falling asleep while the phone is still on and somebody wake up and you sleep. Remember, at one point, our significant other talking a lot used to be attractive or sexy, or it just blew our mind just to hear
it showed interest.
Hear you talking about nothing. So don't let distractions at church. You know, Pastor Jerry at the chapel, he gave something real good talking about distractions and so forth as well. Don't let the distractions of the world, the distractions that we have, just distract us so much that it has us lose focus. Remember that, because I'm thinking about that now. Man, we used to just be on the phone all the time.
Us too, Taiwana. She said we used to fall asleep on the phone.
Yeah, like I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. I used to drive to Buffalo up here, and the whole 3 hours, we will be on the phone the whole 3 hours. Yeah. And then I'll chill up here for 5-6 hours and drive back and be on the phone the whole 3 hours and get right back up and do it. Think about that. Think about your relationship and that talk time. Have that talk time 1, 2, 5 years later been down significantly? Well, do something to increase it, because I know we started out talking about, would you just shut up already? But at one point, we did not want that person to shut up.
Right.
We were mad if they wasn't talking.
Yeah. Wait, I haven't heard from you in 2 hours.
Right. You hold my hand. Talk to me while you hold my hand. You sitting on my lap. Talk to me.
Yeah.
So that's true. I'm encouraged, because I'm thinking, like, you know what? Maybe we're not talking enough.
We didn't say that.
We didn't say that.
But I'm glad you got your voice back, boo.
Absolutely. You said I was going to have my voice back by the time we did Marital Mondays.
Yeah,
you
would. But I enjoy Friday.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
It's good.
It's all good. Well, we thank you all so much for joining us today. Listen, my wife, Mrs. Sharman over here, could you all please share it and just tell somebody? No, we need you to share this message. Pass it along with someone else.
We hear from so many married couples.
Yeah.
Or even folks dating, but we hear from more married couples saying, thank you for talking about that, or thank you for talking about that. A woman messaged me last week, and after we did the I Wish You Were Better in Bed, and she said, I've been married for 20 years, my husband and I, and we've never talked about it, and dissatisfaction was going on. And she said, and we had the talk. So now we're about to celebrate our anniversary like we never have. So those are the things that encourage us.
Yes.
But we're in this marriage thing together. We can make it.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it feels good to know that other married couples can relate and be like, whoa, wait a minute. Okay, so we're not the only ones.
Yeah, I'm not the only Martian on earth.
Right,
yes,
right. And God designed marriage to be fun. Yes, there's ups and downs, but God knows exactly who to put you with that will challenge you and grow you and help form you into the person that He wants you to be. So we want to do this marriage thing together. The good, the bad, the ugly, the ups, the down, all of it. So thank you for sitting with us on Mondays and doing this. We appreciate it.
Yes. And go back and think about what your talk time was like when you
Yeah.
first met your significant other, when you first met your boo, and level up. Take it up a notch.
Level up.
I guarantee you 1, 2, 5, 10 years later, it's not the same. Get back to that point. Sometimes we got to go back to the basics. We got to go back to the beginning. Do that. Try that.
Yeah.
Until next week. Hey, no. How's your Mercedes Wilson show going?
Oh my gosh, it's going good. We are taping out of a new facility. It is amazing. We have signed on with a production company, Sound Masters Records, and everything is great. We're on 3 networks: Kingdom Insight, WBBZ TV, and LCTV, like 5 days a week.
How can people watch your shows if they haven't seen none of them?
We do them on Facebook Live. You can hit me up, Mercedes E. Wilson, on my YouTube channel. You can go to my website. You can get more information as well, mercedesewilson.com. Man,
and I'm assuming that you still can use some financial support to help out with the Mercedes Wilson show.
We have a couple open slots for ad sponsors, and we always welcome sponsorship or donations. So hit me up if you're interested.
Thank you.
Yes. Bye, everybody.
See you next week.